stuff, okay? But there's only a handful of cars that I dream of detailing. And if you're a car enthusiast, you've probably already figured it out. Oh yeah, it is what you think it is. I don't think you guys understand how geeked out I am to start working on this car. Like, I get to put my hands on. It's not just like, oh, you've seen one at a car show, you know what I mean? It's like, all right, let's get set up, let's work on it. Okay, so here's the plan with the Testarossa. I'm gonna wash it outside, I'm gonna spray it with iron remover outside, and I'm gonna do the clay bar process on the inside because, guys, seriously, it's hot outside, and as a professional detailer, I don't have all the time in the world to actually, you know, work on a car. I have a time constraint, I have a deadline, and I can't control the weather, so I have to be prepared for it. I'm gonna give you guys a quick walk around the Testarossa, but we'll dive a little bit deeper into the car once it's actually washed and decontaminated. So some people say that this car is starting to show its age, but honestly, I think it has aged very well. Guys, I had a poster of this car. I think I'm not the only one that had a poster of this car. I feel actually, it sounds stupid, but almost extremely honored to be able to work on this car. This is the epitome of the 1980s. Something that you would never know about this car unless you own one or been very up close to one is the fact that when you drive it, the pedal box is tiny. You need like baby feet to fit back there, but it is deep, and the owner tells me that you can actually stretch out if you put your feet behind the pedals. So obviously this is not a daily driver, right? So it's not particularly filthy. It's not dirty per se, but it has been detailed before. I'm gonna pull you guys in a little closer and you'll see what I mean. Yeah, and there we go. That's what the paint looks like. So, I mean, it's not in terrible shape. I wouldn't call this, you know, destroyed, but it's definitely been worked on. And basically, they just didn't finish it out. There's tons of handprints on this car. All this black trim, it has polish or wax residue in it. Right here is a good example. It does have badges, Pininfarina badges that go right there. I do have them. That's part of the service. I'm gonna put them on. Right here is some more residue. Like, check that out. Yeah, like, come on. We gotta fix that. You wanna know what the funny thing is that I see that this car needs work. I've sent photos of this car, you know, to friends, family, because, you know, I think it's cool and things like that. And they're like, wow, you know, it looks so good. You did a great job. And I'm like, I haven't even touched it yet. Let's get to it. So if you're taking off wheels, you're gonna need an impact socket or any socket, but you don't want this to shake in your hand and scratch the lug nut opening on your wheels. So you can buy a fancy socket that has a protective sleeve over it, or you can do what I do and have some painter's tape lying around, and all you're gonna do is you're gonna line up the edge with the end of the socket. Once you start it, it's pretty straightforward. You want to wrap it around like a couple times, right? You want to pretend you're putting PPF on your socket, except the PPF is tape. All right, and there you have it. sticking with the Italian theme, I have Rupes M101. This is a car shampoo for professional use only. You can go out and buy this off of places like Detailed Image, Auto Geek, places like that. It does come in a nice cool box, and this is kind of pricey for car shampoo. Alright guys, so everything on the undercarriage is nice and clean. I've cleaned out all the jams and the kind of engine bay area, you know, like stuff in between here and things like that. It's nice and clean. Basically, this is what we're dealing with. This is what the car actually looks like underneath some lighting. Now, if you've never seen a Testarossa without the grille in the back, now you have. That's what it looks like. That, you know, all this residue that's in between these grills. I mean, guys, look at that. Like, come on, you can't do that. Look, there's more residue over there. You guys see the stuff in the corner. So I thought that was missing paint, but no, that's actually just old wax or polishing residue. So got to clean these as well. But one thing that I want to show you guys is down here, because there's a couple of sanding marks as well. Like the bumper down here needs some pretty major work. One thing I like about my job is you get to be up close and personal with these cars, and it's a very, very special feeling. Oh man, everything looks so good. Before we get to the paint correction, what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna clean this front area just so I don't have to keep leaning over the car and keep opening and closing this hood. It just needs a vacuum. I'm gonna take the spare tire out. That's pretty fancy, isn't it? It's held in by a belt. And this just folds up, and I have to clean everything underneath here. That won't really be too big of a deal, but I wanna get that done first before we do anything to the exterior. So let's get that done.